Hi, this is Sarah Lister from Sheffield Digital. I'm asking Fabian Evans about his job as a software developer at the AMRC. How did you get your job and how long have you been in this role?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm Fabian. I've been working at AMRC for about a year. So I studied maths at university initially. I think I was always drawn to maths. I really enjoyed it. I'm quite a logical person. And after university, I wasn't sure. I was pure mathematics based, and I wasn't sure where I wanted to take it. So I was doing some tutoring and working in hospitality, and the whole time I had been doing some internet problems. So there's a series of maths-based computer problems called Project Euler, and it really kind of made me want to start coding more. And then just before lockdown started, in my spare time, I'd started doing some courses to bring me up to scratch programming wise. And then yeah, just when lockdown happened, just took the opportunity to just immerse myself fully into it. And then here we are.
And how did you actually get your job? Did you see the opportunity? Did you already know about the AMRC?
Yeah, I did know about the AMRC. I'm obviously not as familiar with it as I am now. It's mostly, so I had some friends who did engineering who had worked briefly with the AMRC. And obviously, whenever you drive to the motorway, you come past the building with AMRC on the side of it. So I was aware of its existence, but not fully. I didn't fully appreciate the work that they do here. And I saw the listing on university website as it happens. So yeah.
How were you introduced to work at AMRC and has your role changed since you joined?
Most of the programming I'd done before coming to AMRC was Java based. And then when I started here, they were going to have me working more in Unity, sort of with C# .NET. So my first few weeks were really like getting the general, onboarding and admin, and then sort of immersing myself in some preparatory courses for Unity, just get a feel for it. And then yeah, sort of smack bang into the project, and working on things. Fortunately, we got a team of. I was working in a team of 4 people, so I could make use of other people's expertise to upskill myself, which was nice. And yeah, since then, so I've been mostly on, which is quite unusual for AMRC. We tend to do sort of research-based projects. So they tend to be on slightly shorter term, sort of 3 months to 6 months. And I have been basically up till now, we're just wrapping up now, working on one project for the whole year. So obviously from beginning to end, I think a lot of my changing has happened personally, like in terms of my development as a programmer. But now the project's winding down. Definitely I'm taking on new roles. So I'm helping upskill one of our interns that we've got working here. And I'm looking at trying to help us roll out a new Jira platform, which is sort of workflow management. So yeah, just taking on a bit more responsibility the longer I've been here, which is nice.
That's great. So even just after about a year, you're already helping out with the interns.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that I quite enjoy doing, to be honest with you. When I finished my university, I did some tutoring for a little bit. I always found it quite rewarding, teaching people. It's definitely part of the job that I'm looking forward to more, as I progress more, sort of sharing that progression with other people.
Are there any examples of projects that an AMRC developer might be involved in?
Yeah, so we've got a whole host of different projects on the go here, from robotics to AI, and just general software solutions. So it really depends on the experiences of the developer coming in. So me personally, I was more of a programmer, so I've been working sort of more on the programming side of things, but we have projects like Factory Plus, which is quite cool, sort of data centralization tool, and we work quite a lot with companies looking to upgrade legacy equipment, trying to provide different price points with different abilities. And yeah, like I said, there's quite a lot of intermingling with different departments, which kind of makes it quite interesting. So if you want to branch out and start working a bit more with robots, we just got a Boston Dynamics Spot robot, which we're testing for in the factory setting, basically. So yeah, lots of opportunities to work on tons of different things, really. It's amazing.
Do you think your degree prepared you well for this type of work?
Well, in a way, I mean, I don't do maths on the daily, so it's not directly useful, but I think a lot of the skills that you pick up from university are very transferable, and because maths is kind of a logic based subject, that carries across to programming as well, which is quite nice. And obviously, you know, it was really what birthed my interest in programming. Project Euler was the start of my journey into programming, and that was really very much maths based, and I still do that on the side now as well. So yeah, I would say, yeah, absolutely.
As a little side question, would you mind just telling us a little bit about Project Euler?
Yeah. So Project Euler is online. So you can find it I think it's projecteuler.com. I might need to check that one. But they have, I don't know, like 600 different problems. They range in difficulty. So they're each marked, I think they're in increments of 5%, and then like 100% very, very difficult, 5%. I wouldn't say easy, it depends, but on what you know, but yeah, definitely quite a lot easier. And they're quite pure maths based, so they appealed to me quite a lot. So there's a lot dealing with prime numbers and a lot of the stuff that I had done at university. So it's quite a good transition for me to take the skills that I had done at university and apply it into a sort of programming setting. So yeah, if there's any mathematicians out there who are interested in programming, or even if you're not interested in programming and you just love maths, I recommend it's a good crack, really is. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you for that. And why did you've already touched on this briefly, but why did you choose to study mathematics?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm quite a logical person. It's always appealed to me. And I think when I was at school, we had a particularly good maths department, and that sort of carried with me. Their passion for maths gave me passion for maths, and I found myself, you know, doing extracurricular work, it was quite unusual for me. It's the only subject really that I was that interested in that I took it outside of normal lesson time. But yeah, and I still have the same passion for it. I think the more you know, the more difficult it gets to learn a bit more, to be honest with you, because the levels get increasingly more difficult. So I'm not exposing myself to as much new maths nowadays, but I like, the odd maths puzzle and, like I said, Project Euler and stuff. So yeah.
Did you find it easy to choose what to do at university, or did you struggle to make that decision in terms of the subject?
So I would say I found it easy but stressful. It feels like such a massive decision, like the rest of your life is weighing on it. So there was a lot of stress behind making the decision. Am I making the right choice? But at the same time, like, maths was just the thing that I did. So for me, I always worried, was I making the right choice? Should I have done engineering, something that is more geared towards going into work afterwards? But like I said, I just ended up doing what I enjoyed, and I have no regrets. So
how would you summarize your experience of studying at Sheffield University?
yeah, it's cracking. The city's really lovely, really, really quite hilly. So I grew up in Birmingham, and it's a bit flatter there. But I just love all the viewing points and stuff that you get around the city. It's so nice. I really like going out for a walk, and even though sometimes it's like, I have to climb up a big hill, you never want to do it when you're setting out, but actually you always feel a lot better for having got that little bit of exercise in. So and the university itself was cracking. The maths department was really nice. So I had a really good tutor who was very friendly, and would meet up with my fellow math students in the university arms and stuff. So yeah, and props to my dissertation supervisor, Neil Strickland, absolute legend. Pushed me over the line for my dissertation. So yeah, just an amazing place to have gone. Really glad that I did. It was not actually my first choice or second choice. I got it through clearing Sheffield. But yeah, I just had such a good crack, and I didn't want to leave. So that's why I'm still here.
Brilliant. And did you do a master's as well?
I did do a master's, yeah. So I did a 4-year MMath course. So
excellent. How did you gain your professional level qualifications in software development and data analytics?
So I took part in an online course. There's quite a lot out there, and as part of the online course, it was training that was then for exams that were accredited by the relevant organization. So like I said, I did quite a lot of Java. So I got my Java SC 8 professional qualification, and then I think there's 2 separate Java qualifications, and they're accredited by Oracle, who's the creator of Java, or at least the owner of it, I guess. And yeah, I'd say I'd done C# and some SQL and stuff, all with exams that were accredited by the relevant organization. And then actually for the data analysis side of things, I had done a course by OpenAI, who, I don't know if you know of OpenAI, but they've recently released this chat GPT AI thing. That's quite scary. It might job security feeling a little bit. No, it is a very useful tool, and yeah, so they have they were doing an online course which I took in neural networking, and then alongside that I was sort of doing my own personal projects. Don't do them as much now. I'm working, but I made an app for my phone, just a little game, and a little website, and a game. It's a game which it was like rondo. If you've ever seen football, I think they're called rondos, where you have a bunch of players in a circle who each kick the ball, and there's a player in the middle who tries to steal it off them. And it was sort of AI trained to. So I created a game for it, and then got an AI to train itself in the game, which was quite cool. If not perfect results, but it's a part of the learning process.
And do you think those qualifications that you did helped you in terms of getting your job?
Absolutely. I think they're pretty vital, to be honest with you. So you might have the skills, so you can, to be honest with you, it's not necessary. I think if you don't have professional level qualifications and you didn't do a degree in the subject, but you do have a wealth of personal experience and projects to fall back on, then that's okay. But I think it was a good way to get my foot in the door, and certainly when I went to interviews, that was something that people were quite impressed by.
What's it like working at the AMRC?
What's it like working at the AMRC? Yeah, I love it here. It's nice to be part of something that I feel is really making a difference to the local area, and nationally as well. I think it's quite an important company. It's cool. Like I said, there's lots of different things on the go, and you can really be part of what you want to some degree. If you want, so I want to get more involved with cybersecurity, and so that's something that I am working on now, well, not presently, but they've got some projects lined up for the future to get working on cybersecurity. That was something that was my own personal goal. But beyond the actual work, the atmosphere here is amazing. I've worked with my friends, which I really like, and yeah, it's a very light-hearted atmosphere. So yeah.
It sounds great. I think when you're so young to find a job that you're really happy in, I think it makes such a big difference. And especially if there's opportunities, to go and pursue your interests like the cybersecurity.
Yeah. But I think that's a big part of it as well. It's the development that you have professionally is really good. The opportunities for development are amazing. And they will take time to train you up and reskill you if that's what's required as well. So yeah.
Which aspect of your job is the most enjoyable and then the most challenging?
So the feeling of personal development that I get, certainly when I look at where I was a year ago and where I am now, and even where I expect myself to be in the future, it's quite exciting. That's definitely one of the highlights of working here. That, and the people that I work with are amazing as well. But yeah, one of the challenging things I reckon would probably have to be managing organizational workloads. I think that's it. That is something that I personally struggle with. I've got ADHD, and I've never been a massively well organized person. So it's something that I've really had to learn to do, and sort of how to manage it and stuff like that. Fortunately, we have some tools specifically for project work that we use at AMRC, like Jira, which I'm looking to roll out a cloud implementation for. So it's not like I have on my bio at the company, ADHD, be warned, or something like that. But they're there to help me if I need it. They're aware of the issues that I have. But it's not something that I try and hide behind. Like, you've got to be aware of your weaknesses and work on improving them, I think. And so it's not it's I try not to use it as an excuse. I let myself get in that situation. It's but yeah, we're all human, and they're very understanding. So yeah.
And lastly, what advice would you offer to someone who is starting out as a software developer?
Enjoy it, I think. Certainly for me, when I first started, I think so. It depends what point at what point on the journey they're at. Like, if they're at the very beginning, they're thinking about maybe they want to get into it, but they're not sure. Then, like I said, I would recommend doing something that's not too committal, some like short programming problem sort of thing. They're quite fun. You don't have to do Project Euler if you don't want to. That's quite maths based. There's also Neat Code, and there's loads of different examples of websites with programming. It's just quite small, maybe 30 to 50 lines of code problems, and just get a feel for it, enjoy it, and then as you work on developing your skills as a programmer, start taking on bigger projects. Don't go in too hard too quickly, so it can be a bit daunting, and you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by taking on more than you can chew, and then you might lose the feels. So yeah, just ease yourself in, and then when you're ready, get doing some sort of more big applications, and like a website or something. And then yeah, when you do get a job, just remember that everyone is there to help you get to where you need to be. So make use of that help. It really is invaluable.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story and for some great advice too.
Thank you very much for having me.